have a question here from Brian, and Brian's interested in permaculture aid work and bringing permaculture to places and people who are really in need. What does it take to be able to do that kind of work, and how much training and experience is needed, and what would you recommend doing to be ready and able to intervene in such situations? Well, you need quite a lot of courage, and it can be quite disappointing working in aid work because it's often quite tragic. But we have quite a lot of projects in aid in many different locations. And of course, after you've done your PDC, you need to get some experience, and internships are one of the fastest tracks you can take. So one of our main themes on the ground in Australia is training people up to be project managers who are capable to take up an aid position. And there are different types of aid. There's just development aid and there's emergency aid, and the most tragic of all is aid in a war zone or a conflict zone. So I wouldn't go straight into conflict or emergency aid. I'd start with development aid, which is a little bit easier and is a slower process. So we're training people to be project managers, and in the same training, you obviously get trained as a designer, consultant, and an educator. So on projects, you do need people to be able to manage a project, run education courses and educate on a project, and also administrate a project. And that's the most unpopular one. Some people can cover all three, but often people cover two. The project manager is often also a teacher. The teacher can be the administrator, but very rarely do you get a manager who's also an administrator. They often don't fit well together. We do teach permaculture aid specialised courses at times. It's a difficult process to go through unless you spent at least a year on a site, seeing the whole seasons go through and experience the systems that you need to help people with, giving them demonstration and education about what is the most useful systems to set up to improve their lives locally, with all the things we cover: housing, energy, waste systems, living systems, water harvesting systems, and the like. So I don't think it's something to rush into. I've done a lot of aid work myself. I've been through a lot of tragedy, right out to war zones, and they're very, very dangerous because it's psychologically damaging to most people. So we've learned a lot, and I think we're improving all the time, and there's more possibilities to get into those positions, but I'd go through at least a year's internship first and make all your initial potential mistakes there and learn from people who have experience.